If you're looking to get a new e-rig, do not get one until you watch this video. I made an e-rig tier list last year, and this is the updated version with all the new stuff I've tried and all my new opinions. If you haven't checked out my Twitch yet, I do a sesh every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and if you're looking for more info on any of these devices, in my Twitch or Discord, type exclamation with the name of the rig, and I'll probably have more info there, but we can't put all the links here. Also, don't miss the 12-hour dab sesh we're doing July 10th for 7/10 live on Twitch. We're going to be getting high all day. So I'm going to review the ones that I have a lot of experience with. Some things I've tried, they're not even worth mentioning. But these are the ones that I've done a ton of hits with. Let's get right into it. All right, let's throw some obscure ones up first. The Dabbox Pro. I don't even know if I see this one anymore. I did see somebody asking about it not too long ago. But I'm going to put it on D tier. It wasn't great. It was a cool design. I wish they made better versions of it or like a larger version of it. Because I remember getting some decent hits. It just didn't have a great atomizer on it. But the Dabbox Pro, not so great. Let's do the Aspire Wand. This one's a little bit confusing because it goes to heat a banger. It's not quite in the same category as some of these other ones, but I needed to include it. I would say the technology behind this is cool, but I never really got a great hit with it. And I think most people use this technology on their Dyna for some flour. I'm going to put this one as C tier right now. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Let's go with the other one from the same brand. This is the same technology, but they put it into like an all-in-one rig. Still, I feel like it could have been better. The battery life on mine wasn't great. I hear they're making a new one. I'd like to try it because I do think the induction technology is cool, but the execution and the hits for me weren't great. I'm going to put this one just above on the B tier. I think it was a little bit better. It was all-inclusive, but still overall not a great one. Now, there's some other popular ones on here I hear about a lot, and I feel bad for the person that just goes in and they want a device and they haven't done the research, because more than likely you're going to get sold something that's just absolutely terrible. Something like the Luca Dragon Egg. Bro, this is the plastic bottle of e-rigs. It's like a soda bottle converted into an electronic rig for concentrates. There's people that'll swear up and down about this being the best one ever, but from my experience, compared to a lot of the other ones, most of the people that hype up e-rigs haven't used more than 30 like me. Most of the people, they just used the one and they did 2 hits off their friends one time. But this one is terrible, bro. This one is bad. I'm putting this one on the poop tier, bro. It's plastic. The hits on it are terrible. You have several atomizer options for a lot of the Luca stuff, and all of the atomizers are terrible. If you have 7 atomizer options, what are you doing? They're all like a different version of the same bad hit. What are you doing? I would have to say that the Unicorn is in a similar category. This is a cone-shaped one. It's cone-shaped like the Peak, but it has the glass right over the atomizer like the Dr. Dabber Boost. But it's another case. This one's like twice as much, and the hits on it are about the same. They're not great. I've heard people say that the mini one's better, but like this company makes so many devices and they're all pretty bad. Maybe there's a good one out of the 50 you make, but why do you make 50 bad devices? Why do you have 100 different versions of your atomizers? So they're just like, none of this stuff's tested. They're just making parts based off of specifications, and they're like, well, maybe somebody will buy this. This is another poop tier one for me. Let's do some other options here. Bruh, vape pen. I wasn't going to put it on the list, but you know, you can get a little water bubbler for it. You can get similar style hits to what you're going to get with an e-rig, but like, bro, we just finished Cart Week not too long ago. Carts, just in general, no matter how good oil you put in there, no matter how good the oil is, it's still in a cart, and carts are trash. This one's going on poop tier. Ask me about my wiener. Let's do, we just did some Luca stuff a moment ago. Let's do Yokan. I know they make more stuff, but everything I've tried from them isn't great. I do hear, oh, you got to try this one, you got to try this one. But if I've tried several things and you're disappointing me, what are you doing? Now, the Pillar, this one is like a blinker of an e-rig. This one you can fit a cart battery on. It's like a long phallic shape. The hits on it they're hot and short, and they're not good. I was not getting good quality vapor with this. Maybe it's good as a cart battery, but we don't. This is an e-rig list. I think it hit better than both the Luca ones though, so I'm gonna put this slightly higher on D tier. Let's do some other options here. Let's get some obscure ones. brands. Let's get the, this, I've seen it in a few different brands. The Freeze Pipe E-Nail. There's another brand. I think even Luca has their own version of this. The chamber in this one, if it has a complete ceramic chamber and no coils or anything, is a good one. It's not a large chamber. You're not going to get huge hits with it for the most part, but I actually was surprised with the hits I was getting off this when I was testing out a Freeze Pipe not too long ago, and the hits were good. I'm putting this one on, we're going to say, I think it was better than this guy right here. These both might need to go on the same. I don't know if they're that much better. We'll keep it here for now, but we're gonna look at it later. Bruh, the Mini, the smallest e-rig ever. I did a video comparing the smallest and the largest. This versus the Switch. It's not terrible, but it's too small for what it's trying to do. Maybe if you need little pips of a dab, maybe if you need the one-hitter version of an e-rig, this might be the one for you. But like for me, it wasn't doing it, but it really was terribly small and cheap. I've seen this one branded a few different ways, so if you see anything this shape, it's probably the same thing as this rebranded. I think I'd use like the X-Max Como, QOMO. I think I'm putting it above the Aspire wand here. You're not gonna get a big hit. You're not even gonna get a medium hit. You'll barely get a small hit from it. You're gonna get a tiny hit, but it's not gonna be bad. What else do we got on here? I tried to lump some of these brands together. Let's do some G-Pen right now. G-Pen Connect, bro, I got 2 different G-Pen Connects and they both broke within 3 weeks. And every time I would look stuff up online, everybody else had the same issue. And people are like, no, you gotta clean it and then jiggle the connections and then blah, 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 blah. But it has connection issues and it's called the Connect. Can we talk about the irony there? Not great hits. There's a few rigs that have been modeled after this or styled after this. The atomizer, the actual chamber in there is so bad. It's one of those self-cleaning, you're not supposed to wipe it atomizers, aka it just keeps getting loaded up with every dab you've ever done until it gets so nasty you don't want to hit it. Bro, the Connect is not great, and I think it's going in D tier. D for don't want to dab it. Let's do the G-Pen higher. This is like an updated, they're like, you know what, let's add a cord to it and let's give it the option to do flower and concentrate. I will say with a lot of the G-Pen devices, the G has to stand for glowy because the temperatures are so hot. Some of the devices I've used from them, the lowest temperature is too hot. So it's like, there's no way I'm gonna try the highest one. If I'm chazzing or scorching the inside of the chamber on the lowest one, what's going on? With the higher, they did a little bit of a better job, but I think I remember each time you go up in a temperature for your concentrate, it's like up 100, 150 degrees or something insane. So the hits I was getting on it for flower, not great, nothing to write home about. And the hits I was getting on it for concentrate, while it's better than the Connect, it's still not great. I'd say this one gets a little bit higher than the Connect, but I still don't know for the price. I wouldn't run out and get it. All right, what else do we got on here? Let's do some obscure options. I have the Human Suck Stinger on here. I've used a few different electric honey straws. I'm gonna lump them all into the same category. This was one of the better ones that I used. I know there's other options out there, and I know there's a lot of people that are gonna leave a comment and be like, I love my electric nectar collector. I love my honey badger or my e-straw, whatever they got. Some people love them, but fundamentally it's an incorrect way to consume concentrate, and you almost have to lean into higher temperatures or you're just gonna get a terrible hit. I will say it's good for some situations. It's kind of convenient just pushing the tip in. You don't gotta load something into an atomizer, but the amount of waste that you create with some of these, the overall efficiency you can achieve with your oil hits is not great. And honestly, the amount of people after I made a video talking about the dangers of nectar collectors, about dripping some reclaim on your thigh or accidentally burning yourself with oil falling out, the amount of people that are like, oh my God, that happened to me, was way more than I thought. So I gotta put these at poop tier. Electric honey straws, just fundamentally the type of hit is not right for concentrate. You're not gonna suck your oil through a straw and it's gonna vaporize instantly in the tip. It needs to sit in that chamber for a little while. But if you like these, you like glowies. Good for you. Let's see, another obscure one. This one, it ended up being my worst device of last year. It was something I tried early and I was just shocked at how bad it was. It's weird because like it looks so cool. If you walk into a shop and you see this bad boy, it looks cooler than any other rig I got. I pulled it out the other day and I was like, God, how did they do it, bro? It looks so cool, but they messed it up. It's like your car looks like a Lamborghini on the outside, but it's running like some broke down beater that's not even gonna get me to where I'm trying to go. Poop tier, bro. I wish it was better. Make another one and then do a better job, please. It looks cool. I think this one actually uses the same chamber, the same style chamber as the core, but they're doing a worse job with it. The core is a workhorse. It's one of my favorite low-cost options. I do need to do a video soon where I'm going to compare some of my favorite low-cost options because some people need to know the differences. But I really like the core. You don't have as much customization as you do with some other ones, but they really dialed in the presets, and this thing, like I said, it's a workhorse. You're going to get good hits with it. It's going to do it again and again. It does have an 80-second default hit, which some people are going to need to cut short, but bro, the hits on it are nice. I'm going to say we're going to put it on A tier. This is the first A tier one compared to all the other ones. It's wild because most people have probably heard about most of the other ones and they haven't heard about this. It's better. All right, let's get a couple more options out here. The Dab X Go. This is another one in the category of it looks so cool. It's got a metallic body. It looks steampunk-esque almost. It looks futuristic. It looks really cool, but bro, they took the same terrible atomizer you would get in any old cheapo dab pen. That it's like worse than the G Pen Connect atomizer. It's that little ceramic spongy dish where you're not supposed to wipe it. It's self-cleaning or whatever. It's not a good hit. They figured out how to dress up a terrible atomizer in one of the coolest looking E-rig bodies. I would say the price on this one is crazy if you consider like the actual performance. Like they're really selling you on the price because it's all shiny and cool looking, but it's all about the hit, right? It's all about the hit. That's all you care about. The hits on these are terrible. I have to put this at poop tier. I know somebody's gonna leave a comment. I love mine. It gets me high. It's not doing it as good as some of the other ones could. It's not giving you enjoyable vapor, and your 10th hit off of it is grosser than your first hit. Your 50th hit off of it is grosser than your 10th hit. Not a great one, but it looks cool. All right, here we've got some other new options I've tried recently. Let's do a couple by Pulsar. I recorded a video recently on this. I think it's a very weird E-rig, but hear me out. If you look at a lot of the things on this list, they're all similar looking. They're all like a cone shape with an atomizer on the side. Not quite a cone shape, but you see the atomizer on the side, a little same body style with the atomizer on the side. They actually went for something different here. It's got a glass bottom, it's got a glass top, it's got a magnetic middle. It's kind of awkward, it's kind of large, it's kind of clunky, but I haven't got a bad hit off of mine. I'm a little confused when I use this sometimes. I'm scared to take the bottom off because you got the glass downstem wiggling around in there. But again, I have not got a bad hit off of mine, which is important to know. So I'm gonna say it's not quite as good as the core, but I'm putting it at the top of B tier. The atomizer is different than a lot of the other ones. There's no coil in there. The just overall makeup and style of the rig is different, and it's on the larger side. Some people want something bigger. Not quite as big as the Dr. Dabber Switch, but it's like maybe the second biggest E-rig I have. Now, the other one by Pulsar, I wasn't gonna put it on this list, but you go to most websites, they're gonna put this in the E-rig category. These little cart cups, this is called the Sipper. I'm gonna lump all of the different brands in the same category with this. You can put carts in it. Some of them have atomizers you can use to put wax in there. It's better to use that with the wax because then you're not doing a blinker on your pen every time. But even still, the atomizers they use for the wax are cheap and you're basically doing a glowy. It's a glowy on the goey, or it's a blinker drinker. They're fun, they're cool. I hope somebody makes a really good one in the future with like a nice Carta or Peak atomizer, something like that. I have like 5 different ones. Maybe somebody made one and I haven't tried that one yet. But overall, it's not great. I've used many different brands of them and you just don't get a good, enjoyable hit. It's more about the novelty factor and how cool it looks, and I can put a straw in there and drink my vapor out. But the quality of vapor and the hits that you get are not good. I'm putting this one, I'm gonna put it above poop tier. I think I'd still rather use one than some of these other options, and it looks cooler than the other ones. All right, what else do we got on here? We have another couple of low-cost options I have some videos on. Let's do the bomb here. The bomb is interesting. I think I tried like a pre-version of this or like a prototype. I remember giving some feedback feedback on some different e-rigs to some companies. And what, you know, the brands swap around a bunch, but I'm pretty sure these guys made it based off some of the descriptions that I gave, or it's very similar. I was like, somebody's got to make something like this. It uses the same glass as the Puffco, although the angle of the glass at the bottom is going to be different. The atomizers on it are really cool. It's got like a 3D joystick. It's got one button function. It's got a wide temperature range, which I think the range on it, you can't even go past like 450, and it goes to like 700. So the temperature range on it is a little wild. It doesn't have haptic feedback, but it gives you pretty good hits overall. You just can't customize the length on it. And it doesn't give you the same length hit every time. It kind of is based off the temperature of the atomizer. It's a little bit weird, but performance-wise, you get good hits with it. I'm going to put this one also on A tier. The price point and the performance is hard to ignore. It is a lot better than some of these other options. Now, the other one that's in the same category of low cost, this is the Pockety. You can actually put your Peak atomizer on there. You can put this atomizer on the Peak. They have different inserts that you can use. Most of these, you just get one atomizer and no customization on it. But this, I can swap it out with quartz or titanium or a ruby insert if I want. And they have other options. I think this is cool. If somebody wants to get really nerdy about their hits, they want to fine tune different vapor to different surfaces and try out a bunch of different things. This gives you the options, but it's not perfect. It's just a really good lower cost option. I would say this one also going A tier. I need to do a video comparing these three soon, because not everybody's gonna want the same one for different reasons. But I would say all three of these are really good A tier options. Okay, what do we got? We got some Dr. Dabber. These are the big brands right here. Dr. Dabber, Focus, and the Puffco. Let's do it. So let's do the best first. You guys already know this is my favorite e-rig. I think they make the best stuff. I actually was reluctant into trying e-rigs back when this thing came out. I was like, I've got an e-nail. What do I need that thing for? And then I got that thing and I was like, what do I need an e-nail for? I've got this thing. It's wild to me, the switch that I made, because I'm using like e-nail technology for ball vapes, for flower. And I was super against using portable devices for concentrate because I'm like, no way they're going to nail it. Now I'm like, nah, bro, they're nailing it with some of these devices. The OG Peak, it's still good. Although the cost of this has dropped a bit. I would say right now, based on the performance that you can achieve, based on the cost, I think it's still A tier. I think it is. I would say some of these other options you might like better. They're newer, they're more polished, but still the quality of hits you're gonna get. I'm putting this up here on A tier. I hear about it a lot of people. They end up getting one of these on sale. They earned enough credit at the shop that they go to or whatever. I hear so many people talking about, hey, should I get this for this price because I have coupons? These are widely available and a lot of people might have access to them at a lower cost than the MSRP. So it's still like a solid device, maybe top of B tier, maybe A tier. It's still in line with these as far as performance goes. And we got the old Proxy here. This one's fun. This one you're not gonna do the biggest hits on. It's a default dry rig. Some people aren't about that, but some people are super about that. I like this one because it feels like it created a whole world of like fun glass that people are trying to make specifically for this device. And I've seen some crazy stuff. I really like mine. You don't have a ton of customization. If they drop a pro version soon, I really have high hopes for it just because of how good this one was right off the bat. But I'd say I have to put this, we're going to put it at A tier. I almost feel like I got to address the Proxy is like a really good side piece. Some people are fine with it as their main rig, their daily driver, whatever. But for the most part, some of these other options are going to be better for you because you're going to get a better battery life or more customization, or you can do a larger hit with it. This has its limitations with the amount of hits and the size hits that you can do. So I always tell people, especially if you're looking at a Peak and a Proxy, save a little bit more, get the Peak because it's way better right now, especially with all the upgrades available. Joystick cap, 3D XL chamber, you can get a lot done with the Peak Pro, which is the next one we got to put on the list. This is my favorite. This gives me the best hits. It's seemingly the most reliable. I've heard different takes on people having bad experiences with the warranties. I've had good experiences. I've heard more people say they have had good experiences, but not many companies will do what they do. They guarantee your device for 2 years. You get the new V2 version, it breaks 5 times, they'll replace it 5 times, so long as it's not you slamming it on the ground. Some other companies, they give you one new unit and you're done, but they will guarantee your Peak peak for 2 years. So as long as you got it from a licensed retailer, as long as you're filing your claims properly, they got a great warranty. But I've got a bunch of the newer ones. I haven't had any issues with mine at all. I've had more issues with other rigs and other brands of rigs, and they don't hit me back. So I don't know. Everybody's gonna have a different experience with customer service. But the Peak Pro on top, it's the best one. It's the top of the top. Best battery life, best hits, 3D XL chamber, biggest chamber right now. You can take the biggest hits off it. You could take the smallest hits off of it. All right, let's do Carter, and then we'll do the Doctor last, bro. So we got another dry rig here with the Aris. The Aris is kind of cool, but I feel like they should have tried a little harder on the design. They should have done a little bit more to get the mouthpiece further away from the heat, further away from the atomizer. You really just get hot lips with this thing. I've used other things that are supposed to help, but it's still, out of all of the devices that I can hit, this one's gonna warm my face up, gonna warm my lips up. I'm gonna feel the heat in my mouth more than any other one. Why you do that? Make it better. So I will say it's cool. You can fit it in your pocket. You don't have to worry about the water. It's not bad, but one of the issues that I have with the Focus is they use, I don't know what they do. They have bad battery life on all their devices. I don't know if it's a software thing, if it's a hardware thing. I think it's a combination of both, and just all of the devices that I've used from them, they're almost dead, bro. Almost dead, bro. I think I get 5 or 6 hits with this before it's done. Does that sound like something you want for on the go? It's done after 6 hits, maybe. So I'm gonna say it's pretty cool. It's like, if you compare it to dab pens, it's the best one because it has the same atomizer, the same chamber as this guy right here, as the Focus Carta 2. But like, it's not great. I don't reach for it often. I actually brought it over to my buddy's house and I forgot about it because I was just hitting the peak and I was like, I don't want to use that thing. I'm gonna put this on B tier. B for bad. Nah, B for, you know, it's okay. B for better than a lot of the other stuff. B for, I hope they make a better version of this, or a better mouthpiece. They really could just swap out the mouthpiece that they have on there and make a way better one. All right, let's do the Carta 2, the Focus V Carta 2. A lot of people think that this is in line, or it's Puffco versus Focus. It's the Peak versus the Carta. Let's not forget, this is a knockoff of this. This, like many of the other E-rigs on here, they're knockoffs of the Puffco Peak. They saw what they did and they're like, let me try. And most of the people did a worse job. This one, I will say, has a good atomizer. I think they're working on an XL, but the basic one they have is good. It might be better than the basic one that you get with the Peak. I'm talking about the V1 Peak though. I think you only get the V2 Peak with the 3D. So they're about the same. The issue lies with the battery. I get not even 10 hits on mine. I actually turned mine on one time and the battery drained from like 100% to like 78% in like a matter of minutes. And I'm like, what is going on with this thing? Every time I talk about it, everybody's like, I can only get 2 hits on mine. My battery's so terrible. I charge it and it only gets to 10%. I don't know what dollar store they're getting their batteries from. I don't know if they're getting like donated batteries or they're recycling them. I don't know what they're doing, but Focus Carta, use better batteries. Make a product with a better battery life. If it's portable, I gotta be able to take it to places and to use it. So I don't know about this. They make a flower chamber for it. I put the flower chamber on it. It just didn't even work. It didn't even recognize it. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there. It's literally, it's just like a Peak Pro knockoff. They have their own app too. The app is even the worst. They got a screen on there, which everybody's like, oh, the battery drains because of the screen. No, it just drains, bro. One hit is 15% of your battery or more. What? So if you're okay with getting maybe 10 hits out of it, they're going to be decent hits, but if you're okay with getting 10 hits out of it, I don't know. I think I put this on S tier the last time, but like mine has gotten progressively worse. I feel like my battery just doesn't hold up at all. And my old Peak that's older than this is still holding up and it's still performing better. So I feel like whatever they're using just breaks down quicker. And I gotta put it on, I'm gonna put it on the bottom of A tier. I probably would rather use it. You're gonna get the same amount of hits between like a Proxy and the Carta. You're gonna get more customization with this, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's here. tier. I don't know. If you're getting a cheap knockoff, this is maybe not the best option anymore because it's so expensive for a cheap knockoff. All right, the Dr. Dabber setups here. I have to tell you guys, Dr. Dabber is not a real doctor. I don't even think he's a real dabber. Their rigs, while they're not, like cheapo peak knockoffs, they're weird, bro. They made this Dr. Dabber Switch like 6 years ago. It's still their best one or whatever. The people that like this one are huge fans of it. Also, this is a huge rig. I don't know if there's a correlation. This is the largest E-rig. I don't even know if you can consider it on this list because it's like 3-4 times as big as all the other options. This isn't really going to be like let me just bring this portably. You need like a whole briefcase for it. This thing uses like a literal laptop charger to get a charge. Everything else is like, here you go, USB-C. This is like bust out the laptop charger. This is a self-cleaning device. Any E-rig, any electronic concentrate device that says self-cleaning, run away. No, that's torching it to get clean. Oh, but there's no flame. It's using electromagnet. It's literally so bad. The atomizer is like this weird metal cup with like a ceramic coating on there. The default hits on it are bad. I know I've played around with a lot of the different settings. People are like, no, you got to do this. No, you got to do this. If I can't pull it out of the box, hit a button and take a good hit right away, chances are you didn't make a good E-rig. If I need to go find some obscure, you got to do this. Nah, bro, you got to do this. So if it just doesn't give me a good hit out of the box, it's a bad device. Plain and simple. Kind of pricey. Kind of huge. Kind of ridiculous. Mine even broke. Like the glass is big and awkward and like my carb cap broke from the smallest fall you've ever seen. It fell off of the top of the Switch onto my desk, which it doesn't seem that far, but the Switch is so tall, it's like a 12-inch fall. So I feel bad for the people that think this is the best because it's the biggest, or that maybe will get tricked into something like this because their marketing is good, but the products compared to all the others, the hits on these are not good. I'm putting the Switch at I'm putting the Switch at C tier. I think I might have ranked it higher in the last video that I did, but I've got one since. I was basing it off of all the experiences that I've used. It was worse than I remember. It was bigger than I remember. The laptop charger is crazy. It's confusing to use. Oh, do this mode, do this mode. You just don't get good hits from it. Oh no, bro, I can get a huge cloud from it. I can get a huge cloud from a red hot titanium nail. Doesn't mean I got a good hit. And we got a couple other options, bro. The boost, I had high hopes for the boost, but like, bro, boost Evo hits aren't good. You can do 20 or 40 second hits on there. I think you have like 5 or 6 temperature settings. They're not great. They didn't nail the temperatures on these. Dr. Dabber is not a real doctor. He's not a real dabber. I would say I might have liked it better than the Switch. I think it has a quartz dish in there. You can get some decent hits. Let's put it on the bottom of B tier maybe. But the price on it is kind of wild. I've had some more thoughts about this rig, just comparing it to some other things. I think this is like a little 20-second hitter. I don't like rigs that the default hit is super short. I don't like that. I've seen like a few different versions of this. They got like a Wiz Khalifa one. They got different branded ones. It's weird. The water aspect of it is hard to put the water in, to clean it, to get the water out. You're not getting tremendous hits, but I've reconsidered it as a dry rig. If you don't put water in it and the low cost on it, it's not terrible, and you might just have to run the heat cycle twice on it. It's got a decent chamber in there, but they like tuned it to be a small hot hit for the most part. I actually, after some consideration, think it's better than the Switch, and I think it's better than the Boost. So I'm gonna put it up here just above on B tier. Again, if you want more info on any of those devices, type exclamation and the name of the device, exclamation peak, exclamation core, exclamation bomb, etc. in my Twitch or Discord. I'll have more info over there. Thanks for chilling, and tune into my Twitch sometime. We go live at 9 p.m. Eastern for a sesh. I'm probably getting lit right now. Where are you at? Say bye to my wiener.